6-4, but leading the second set 3-2. One other note about Baylor and the NCAA tournament. I went back and looked at a couple of things to make sure I got this right. I don't know about anything what Baylor has received or not when it comes to the NCAA, but I do know that the timeline is this, that the NCAA will inform an institution 24 hours in advance if they're about to release what they will then say are the penalties. So it's 5 o'clock Central Time. I don't know whether Baylor's been here, has heard that or not, but if you see tomorrow come and go, the report that is being released tomorrow, take it but you get a 24-hour advance, but then a school is only given a 2-hour advance to look at whatever the NCAA releases.
And here that's kind of the NCAA on their BS again. Like, okay, you've got 2 hours to respond to this thing. And if it's Baylor that they took 5 years to work up.
So
you
5 years for us to try to figure out what we're going to do to you. And so. What that is, that's the PR of it. They only have 2 hours, so we're going to drop this on them, and hopefully they'll step on their own you-know-whats so that we look better in this. That's the kind of BS that is the NCAA. Yep.
Well, they're about to be done with anyways. I feel like there's a new bill being pushed by Bernie Sanders. It's a pretty radical bill. It's Bernie Sanders, though, so, I mean, that's to be expected. Just his political views versus some others. And it's basically trying to rip down the entire system. It's basically it's encouraging unions, which I think would be, unions and college athletes, I don't know about that one, but that's what it's pushing forth, and making student athletes actual employees. They would be named employees. Which also would be pretty dramatically shifting everything about college sports. So I don't know how long the NCAA is even in this thing, quite frankly, with how badly they bundled everything. I mean, what if they not bungled? I mean, this is ridiculous.
When they screw up the women's basketball tournament setup.
They do nothing right. Yeah. They do nothing right. And so now they've sat on their hands for the last 3 years with name, image, likeness. Basically, you tell us what to do. And then they tell them what they want to do. Oh, no, we don't like that, though. Tell us something else that we should do.
Yeah.
It's like they want the work done for them, and then they want it done to where they like it, and then they will act on it. But, just time's passing by, and they're doing nothing.
The NCAA reminds me of people who are still waiting for the election to get overturned. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Hanging Chad to be found.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look, okay, at a certain point, the candidate that you like is not there, and there's another guy there, so you're just going to have to move on. Until the NCAA, look, at a certain point, you're going to have to, grasp the fact that you lost the O'Bannon case. You not only lost it, you lost it with gusto.
And you're losing the name, image, likeness battle.
So you lost that. So and that's name, image, and likeness was O'Bannon. So you've had almost a decade of knowing, and you could have said right at that time, here's the plan.
Well, here's what also, though, then this is the devil's advocate. They have screwed up so much. They've looked foolish when it comes to even how they've treated women's sports as well. And, of course, that got a lot of attention. They screwed it up in San Antonio. So they're pretty arrogant. They still feel like they have Babe Ruth power. And so what will they on occasion do? They'll not do anything to Kansas or anything to most anyone else, but they will screw Stephen F. Austin.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's what the first comment. It's so predictable now. The first comment when Engel put out the Baylor decision's coming tomorrow, which, based on what we're hearing, no, it's not. I don't know how many times he's maybe put that out there and it's not happened, but it's not the first time. So, we'll see tomorrow. I hope he's right in the end, because I just want this to be done. But, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I just lost my train of thought a little bit, but
that's okay. No, that's fine. But it's if it comes out tomorrow, then somebody got a leak. But the school is given a 24-hour heads up notice that the report is coming out, but that it's coming out. But they're given 2 hours to digest what could be hundreds of pages of fine print and legalese to have a reaction to it. There's a devil's advocate that says because it's a weekend holiday, that being released on a Friday like that, maybe that's because they don't want to get hammered for it's not enough. And then again, it could just be it's finally time for them to release it, which even Max said to us on Tuesday. when he said it's time, and Baylor wants it out, whatever it is, so they can move on and or also appeal it and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest hurdle they're facing right now. I mean, I know there are other lawsuits going on, and some that will have, some more time to continue to go on. But, I mean, as far as, like, their immediate issues, this is the one. And once that's out of the way, whatever that may be, then they can start to actually move on.
They've actually been on probation for 5 years since it was launched, actually. We're now joined by